Welcome back to this web development training. So today we are going to talk about the tools needed to start the web development. Alright, so the first thing we are going to look on is text editor, web browser, and developer tools. Alright, so we have various text editor. But today we are going to look at maybe just like two. So the first one, like the popular text editor, we have Visual Studio Code, we have Sublime Text, we have Atom. Alright, but I will be making use of Visual Studio Code. Alright, so let's proceed and get the Visual Studio Code download. So just go to your browser. If you are using Chrome, go to your Chrome browser, type Visual Studio Code. Alright, so the first link, click on the first link. Okay, so you see download here, download for Windows. And if you're using a MacBook, click here to select. If you're using another kind of Windows computer, so you could just decide to download it from here. Alright, so after that, I have it on my system already. So after that, then we can start creating something. Alright, so let's talk about web browser and why we need the web browser. Alright, so like I told you, I make use of Google Chrome, alright, or Mozilla Firefox, Microsoft Edge for testing and debugging. So I make use of them whenever viewing my project, to know exactly what you're doing or what your code look like when we are talking about the user interface. Okay, so and the developer tools, we use developer tools to cross-check any error on our project. Alright, so every browser has developer tools. So for example, if I go to this website now, alright, and I right click on any of the surface and go to inspect. Once I click on inspect, by my right hand side you will see a bunch of codes here. Okay, let me open it a little bit so you could see. Alright, so maybe you're working on a project and the thing is not displaying, or you want to figure out something, or you want to check how the HTML and CSS JavaScript of a website is being arranged. So once you go straight to inspect on any of the browser, you will see a lot of code like this. Okay, so I believe with time you get to know more about the developer tools. So now we have our text editor, and we know about the web browser now, then the developer tools. So let's proceed to create a HTML file as our first project. Alright, so I want us to do something to install some extension on this project, because along the line we are going to make use of the extension. So the first extension we are going to install here is called, look at this, I have this here, 2, 3, look at this place, this last one, is title extension. So if I click on it, all right, there will be a search button here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type on live server to install something, an extension called live server. This live server is going to help us to view our project direct from here without closing this particular app, I mean the text editor, to go view our projects. All right, so this particular live server will help us straight away to view our project. So I'm going to click on this live server right now, then click on install. All right, I have it installed already. Okay, that is why you can say uninstall and disable. So if you don't have it installed yet, click on installed, then install it. All right, so the second extension I'm going to tell you to download here is Prettier. All right, so Prettier, we use Prettier to format our code, to make our code look more organized. All right, so that is the work of Prettier. Okay, so you are going to click on install, and once you done install, that is all. All right, so after the installation, anytime you finish writing your code and you click on save, Prettier is going to automatically format the code and make your code look professional. Okay, so this is the two text editor plugins we need for now. All right, so like I said, we'll be creating our first project. So if you have your Visual Studio installed on your computer, I will say a big congratulations to you. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a folder. So I can decide to create a folder anywhere on my computer, but I will just go to documents. All right, so I will go to documents and create a folder here. So I'll create a folder, name the folder web development. All right, so inside the folder I will create so I will create another folder, then I will name this folder web tutorial project. Okay, all right, so I'm done creating the folders. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to open my VS Code. All right, so this is my VS Code, so I'm going to open the VS Code. All right, so I've clicked on it. All right, so here is my VS Code. So if you are opening up your VS Code for the first time, this is how the interface is going to look like. All right, so this is how the interface is going to look like. So what I'm going to do now, like I told you, I'm going to create our first project, and we'll be looking at HTML5. That is exactly what we are going to create right now. So I will take this off. So the first thing again we are going to do, let's open up our folder. All right, so we are going, look at my cursor here. When you come here, click on it. All right, then go to open folder, then look for the location. Try to locate your folder. This is my own folder. I'll click on it, double click to open it, then on this one I will select. All right, so here I'm going to select. All right, so I'm going to select this. So after doing that, I will come here. If you can see this sign here, the first one is new file, while the other one is new folder. All right, so I'm going to create a new file. Doing that, I will click on it. All right, since I'm creating an HTML file, so I will just decide to name it index.html. Make sure you add .html extension because you are creating an HTML file. The same way if you are doing it for CSS, make sure you type .css, maybe style.css, but make sure you end it with .css to show that this is the extension I want to create. All right, the same thing with JavaScript. All right, so here I'll click on enter. All right, so I'll click on enter. So now we have our first HTML file. All right, so for example, if I type anything here, let's type something and see what we got. Welcome to my first web development project. All right, so if I decide to save now and I click here, then I view. All right, so let's wait and see what the browser gets for us. All right, so like I told you, this is what we have now. Welcome to my first web development project. So we have something. Please, in this particular tutorial, which is 6 minutes or 5 minutes, please, if you did not understand anything, try to rewatch it again. Okay, so what I want you to do right now is go back to your VS Code, try to create just try to create an HTML file, then comment on this video that you successfully created. All right, thanks for watching.